If you do it with a studio, they buy your script and they own everything, and they can fire you, they can fuck you, they can do anything they want. I wasn't going to take that shit. So Niels and I decided early on, day one, we were going to go independent because we wanted to maintain creative control. Like, if we had sold this to a studio, fucking they would have cast Seth Rogen and Dane Cook, and it would have been they'd have cut all the balls off the fucking jokes, and it would have sucked. So we decided to go independent, and we had a great script, and studios actually wanted to do this movie. We got offered ridiculous amounts of money for the script, and so Hollywood is like high school. Like, once the hot girl wants you, every other girl wants you. Hollywood's the same way. So once we had a popular script, we basically have our pick of independent financiers. And Darko has a lot of money, and they have Sean McKittrick and Richard Kelly are a little bit older than us, and they've been in Hollywood a long time. They've been long enough to be fucked, and so they know how important creative control is, and they loved it, and they said, we don't want to touch this. Do the movie you want to do. Here's the money. Go. And so that's kind of why we went with them. It's because they were willing to give us more creative control than anyone else.
There you go. Were any of your actual friends, like, in the movie, like the groomsmen? Was that actually them?
No. I mean, they're friends of mine, but not like friends from the book or friends from law school. Those guys all have big, fancy, important jobs, and so they don't want to be in the movie.
So what are the chances this movie can get a wide release? Is that going to happen at all? Because it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, it's what we're doing is most independent movies do this. You start with a platform release. So we're gonna on Friday we open in like 85 cities or something like that, and Tempe's one of them. I think it's in this theater, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so we open Friday in this.
Tickets are on sale online as we speak.
Yeah, and so we open like 85 cities, like 120 screens, and then unless a plane hits a building on Wednesday, the movie's going to do well enough that we'll expand, and in 2 weeks we'll have, we'll be on 2,000 screens, and it'll be, like any other movie.
Unless the building's on the Notre Dame campus.
Hey, dude, can you hand this
We all win.
Hey, Deftones.
Hold on, hey, Dallas, hold on, while you pass it up, I'll let her ask.
How tall are you?
How tall do I look?
5'7". You're Bugsy Bogues.
Seriously. Honey, just because you're a midget doesn't mean I'm short too. I know, I can tell. No, you already blew it. You don't get two stupid questions. You already asked one. Go ahead.
So I know you said that, or you've said online that your friends really helped you to develop your voice, but you were probably writing long before that. So when did you decide that you were ready to put the book together? And I know you published 2 books before this one, and you've taken them out of print. So how hard is it with mediums like the internet to take back things that you're no longer want to associate?
It's like 8 questions in one. I don't know which one. I mean, each one independently might be a good question, but it's you throw everything together. I don't understand.
It's like a White House
Pick
restaurant.
one of those questions.
Well, how hard is it if you're using the internet and social media as a medium to undo things that you've said if you're no longer?
I wasn't trying to undo anything. I don't understand the question. I had one book I published in law school. Both books were self-published. One I did in law school as a joke. It was just I just wrote down the shit my friends and I we played a game where it's like if you could think up something that no one had heard before, like a line or whatever, then you could pick the dude who had to say it and the girl I had to say it to. So this became like, my friends are smart, so it became this ridiculous arms race of funny lines. So I just put them all together and I just bet my friends I could make a book, whatever, self-publish it. And the other book is just, I was so fucking dirt poor in 2003, I didn't know what else to do, so I just put the shit that was on the website in a book and sold a couple thousand copies, and then as soon as I got a real book deal and decided to do a real book, then I pulled those off because I don't want to sell dog shit to my fans, And which is that, now the irony is, all the used copies of those are now selling for hundreds of dollars online, and I keep telling people don't buy them, they're pieces of shit. But I took them out of print for a reason, but, whatever.
What did you do between losing the job in your first book at the law firm and actually going to writing professionally? Drink.
Well, no, I got fired this summer between my second and third year of law school. So I wasn't actually officially a lawyer yet. What happens in law school is your 2L, the summer of between your 2L and your 3L year, you intern at a law firm. And the idea is it's like summer camp. They pay you a stupid amount of money, and you don't really do any work, and they take you drinking every night, and then you work at that firm. It's essentially your summer camp before your indentured servitude, and you work at that firm after you graduate. And that job is supposed to be like, you know, taped. Like, you can't get fired from that job. It took me 3 weeks to get fired. And so, cause that was such an unguided missile of destruction at that place. So, I went back to law school and finished, because I'm like, I got just a year left, I might as well get my degree. Finished my degree, I went to work for my dad in Florida. He owns a restaurant company. If anyone here is from South Florida, you know Max's Grill. That's me. It's my dad. And so my dad fired me after about a year. No, I got fired from the family business by my own father. And shockingly. And so after that, I didn't know what to do. My buddies, especially PWJ from the book was the big one. He's like, look, I've been writing, like most of the stories in the book start as emails to my friends. Sushi Pants story, I drove from that parking lot. I drove from that parking lot to my office, and I typed that story out. And the reason, it's so funny now. People are like, oh man, you invented this great literary style and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, do you know why I wrote like that with the timestamp format? Because I was so fucking drunk, I couldn't form complete sentences. Like, that was the only way to get my thoughts out, was to basically belch them out in the simplest, crudest form possible. And that's why it's so honest and raw, too, is because I'm just writing to my friends. You can't bullshit your friends. And I didn't have the mental energy to make anything up. So it's like, all right, I stared at her tits, I had another drink, I got mad because no one was paying attention to me, like, whatever. And I'd sent all those emails out. They've been out for like a year, whatever. And they started circling around. They started coming back to me from other social groups. And people were like, dude, did you read this? It's so funny. I'm like, fuckface, scroll down onto the header at the bottom. I wrote that shit. And so my friends were like, look, man, clearly law and business, not for you. But writing, this is something you're, you know, and acting like an idiot, this is the shit you're good at. Go fucking do that. And so I put the website up, and, you know, 7 years later, here I am.
Do you still act like an idiot? Is there a sequel coming to the book?
The answer to both of those questions is a resounding yes.
Fuck both of you. Yes, the sequel is called Assholes Finish First. It's going to be out in February.
How come you decided to go with the movie format to bring your book to the screen? Because it's a bunch of vignettes. It seems like that, pitching it to HBO or something would have been a pretty good idea.
Niels and I spent 5 years trying to get a TV show that's made. And I agree with you. TV is obvious. And we spent 5 years trying to get this made. And even though we would not have done individual one-off vignettes, it still would have been an overarching storyline. TV is just, I think, a better medium. But you get fucked in TV. You get really horse fucked, creatively and financially. And I'd rather die fighting than live with a boot on my neck. And so it took us a while to figure this out. We did, and like the only way we were going to maintain creative control and control over my property was if we did a movie. So Hollywood kind of forced our hand.